Want to make movies? Hey there, aspiring filmmakers. You're the new Hollywood generation. My name is Orlando Delbert. This is Hollywood Unapologetic. I first wrote about success in filmmaking and life when I was writing Pollyanna's tear-soaked Battlefields of Hollywood, a survival guide against the cynicism and the hypocritical. Today I wanted to speak about Filmmaking Essentials, reopening Hollywood. For you, the new Hollywood generation, this directly applies to you. If you haven't watched the episode Filmmaking Essentials, before returning to production during the coronavirus pandemic, these 10 questions you need to answer reopening Hollywood. I'll have a link at the end of this episode for you to check out. While I was writing the episode I just mentioned, I decided it would be best to produce a broader episode on reopening Hollywood. This is a topic with many moving parts, all with enormous health and financial considerations. A few weeks ago, California Governor Gavin Newsom revealed a 6-point guide to how California will reopen its economy. Being that a major part of the state's economy is related to the entertainment industry, the studio executives and producers have been working on how to get the production machines turning again while ensuring everyone is safe. Now keep in mind, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has warned us if a second coronavirus wave is expected. This is relative because as productions get closer to starting up, these same productions may likely be an identified risk and insurers will not cover them. Add to that, when forced production shutdowns were implemented, multi-million-dollar claims hit their insurance carriers. Another thing, no insurance company is going to insure a production against someone potentially contracting COVID-19 either. At this time, the answer for almost all of them is no. The risk is way too high. The studio simply won't risk having productions shot on their lots by any uninsured producers. In late April, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp declared non-essential businesses in his state could reopen. Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta is planning on restarting production in July. To the best of my knowledge, Perry gave cast members of the two shows to be produced, Sisters and The Oval, a 30-page production protocol document. The tentative date is at least a month or more ahead of what Hollywood has been discussing. I'm hearing some studio facilities in town are looking at August or September to reopen, considering not allowing filming for 2 months after the state quarantine is over. That's in part due to insurance concerns, like I've already mentioned, to be worked out. But that also allows time for the rest of us in the industry to see how Perry's protocol will work out. What most likely is going to happen, for anyone to work on a television or motion picture production, you would have to sign an amendment to your typical paperwork acknowledging you understand, even with the producer's best efforts to keep you and everyone safe, you still may contract COVID-19 and the producers are not liable. No amount of precaution is considered guaranteed. And for some of you hearing this for the first time, you may be uncomfortable with this, and understandably so. If that's the case, it may be in your best interest to pass on the opportunity. You don't feel comfortable agreeing to this, don't sign and don't take the job. To the best of my knowledge, AMPTP and IATSE, along with the film commissions in Los Angeles and New York and other industry stakeholders, have been in active discussions trying to establish a safety protocol for the studios to use. This is also the case in ancillary industries to our industry. What seems like what may happen is that after regulations ease to allow people to congregate in a higher number than it is today, actual production may begin. But everyone going in has to understand that no set can ever be completely safe. There will have to be a health questionnaire everyone must fill out, daily temperature checks at the beginning of the day, and training on hygiene to help avoid spreading particulates and germs. If anyone exhibits signs of illness, health professionals would quarantine those individuals. There are different types of tests available, like the one New York governor had done on live television during a news conference a week or two ago, where a swab was shoved up his nose. A few friends have told me it feels like having your brain scraped. That test takes days to process. There are also rapid antigen tests that I believe one can get results in around 20 minutes or so, but they are not as accurate, but probably the most likely choice since they turn around results quickly. Of course, this is all based on the availability of the kits themselves. First responders and hospitals will always be the priority. I already know that just with what's been mentioned so far, there will be privacy and legal concerns to address. Regardless of where you reside in the production crude food chain, everyone will have to agree to this level of critical examination. And something many of you probably don't know, there are often insurance policies put on actors. In the event someone gets hurt or killed and production is forced to stop, so producers and sometimes the studios get compensated. In today's pandemic environment, even more care has to be given to some on-camera talent. The more critical and of monetary value to the production they are, the the more safety precautions everyone will have to endure. Those actors are irreplaceable. In short, if they're not able to work, no one works, production stops. Since they won't be able to wear protective gear on camera, everyone that comes in contact or in close proximity to them or in close proximity to those who are in close proximity will have to wear masks and gloves at all times. These precautions will include other production departments as well. Everyone will be required to have his or own set of tools. No more sharing hand tools. I would imagine each department would be responsible for cleaning their tools throughout the day and at the end of the day. I can already see how much additional time it will take going through a grip package to clean every day. C-slants and combo stands, clamps, apple boxes, ladders. Another thing would be the high likelihood of living in a hotel for the crew. Depending on the production, whole hotels may be taken over for months at a time to ensure the crew has a lower risk of an outside infection. Also, depending on the production, you may or may not be allowed to go home on the weekends or be able to enjoy time out with fellow crew members to socialize. Either way, rigorous testing will need to occur to keep everyone safe. Craft service is out. You can expect single-serving foods wrapped up like you're on a plane ride somewhere. Think Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about. Before I wrap up, I would like to mention with all of these new safety measures that would have to be in place, there would need to be additional financing to cover it all. Plus, crews will most likely be smaller, working longer hours, and additional time needed for everyone's testing and each department's disinfecting needs to be accounted for as well, time-wise and money-wise. Oh, and there would have to be an additional disinfecting crew that comes in when everyone is gone as well. The bottom line, anyone working as part of any film crew has to accept as a very tightly run unit. And as I mentioned in the last episode, we, as members of the new Hollywood generation, are all in it together. We're all in close proximity of one another, and under normal circumstance, sometimes our lives are at risk while on the clock. Today, the risk is higher, and this way of working and living may be with us for months or even years to come. Be smart, be safe, take it all one day at a time, and don't forget to be great. I'm going to add a link at the very end to the episode, Filmmaking Essentials, before returning to production during the coronavirus pandemic, these 10 questions you need to answer. Reopening Hollywood. If you haven't checked it out, I think you'll dig it. Are you ready for the challenge?